Hello, and welcome to Words from Yo Mama. I'm your host, Simone. If you're a mom or maybe considering being a mom and you want some encouragement along the way, then this podcast is for you. On this podcast, I interview moms from every walk of life as they share their experiences. So thanks for listening.
Like, they haven't been here before.
Mm.
They don't know these things. You know that if you touch that hot thing, it's going to hurt. They don't know this. They don't understand it.
On today's episode, we're going to be interviewing a very special mama who's got a lot of experience. She's young, she's vibrant, and full of wisdom. I hope you guys enjoy and have your bags ready for all these pearls of wisdom. My good friend, Flo. All right. So on this episode, we have a very special mom. Her name is Flo. Flo, do you care to tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
So hi, my name is Flo. I'm 35 years old, mom of three. I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 5-month-old. So, that's it.
Busy house. She failed to
Yes,
mention that I am the aunt to all three of those kids, unbiologically.
yes, you take care of them and help me out immensely
Thanks.
whenever they are acting up in service because these kids are running around like wild kids. So,
And they love me, which is super weird because I'm not a kid person, but they're great. I love them. They're great. So let's get right into this because I know your hands are full and you don't have too much time to lend. Think about a parenting challenge you had recently faced and share with us how you found a solution or a different approach.
so something that has been happening more and more recently because I have two boys, and as they do, they tend to fight over the same toy. We will have multiples of a toy. So right now we have, I think, like 3 or 4 chases in the house, yet they will fight over the same chase. I do not know why. And so what I've found that will work in the meantime, because nothing is ever permanent in the world like of children, is to take the toy, take a similar toy, and put it behind my back and mix it up together and say, pick a hand, and have them pick a hand. And it has worked so far.
Hmm.
Haven't had too many fights, but hopefully this is like something that I can keep implementing and they won't just be like, all right, this isn't working. I still want that toy. So, yeah.
Classic shell game. Nice. That's challenging.
Yes. Yes.
I couldn't imagine. That's like having 3 Barneys in the house and everyone arguing over the same Barney.
Yeah, it's very annoying because as a like, an adult, I don't understand it. But as a kid, for whatever reason, there is a specific difference between each one of them. And so therefore it's just like they want that specific toy and nothing else will satisfy them. We have, probably about 20 cars in the house, and yet it's always one specific car that they will fight over. And now the middle child, the youngest boy, is getting to the point where he's like, I'm not gonna stand for this anymore. I'm not gonna just let you take this from me. So he's gotten into his no phase. So that's
Fun.
quite interesting.
Oh gosh. So, what mistake have you made as a parent, and what was the important lesson that you learned from that mistake?
I'm trying to think. There's so many. As a parent, you make mistakes constantly. Like there is no, one solution. I don't. I feel it's not necessarily a parenting mistake, but today even, I got locked out of the house by the youngest one, and so trying to talk him through how to unlock the door that he just locked and not being able to explain to him in a way that he can understand
Yeah.
because all he thinks is, I need to unlock this door with the key. So, mommy, unlock the door with the key. And I can't because he has the key.
Oh
Makes it
gosh.
very difficult to try and, to, to, to navigate. And so, one thing that I have to try and remember or learn is how is the best way to explain to a 2-year old something that we know, we know the names of these things. If I say, oh, grab me that gray sock,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he doesn't understand that. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. So uh, it's, I guess the solution to that is now I need to make sure I have my keys on me. I need to make sure now that he knows how to unlock the door so that when he accidentally does lock it, he can undo what he's done. So I'm trying to think of where I was going with that. uh,
Well, you're
so
teaching him
the mis
independence, really. Like, even in the midst of, like, hey, you accidentally locked me out. You're teaching him how to be independent and learn through your communication how to correct his mistakes.
yes, yes, exactly. Trying to get him to know, hey, let's not do this. This is what you did. This is how we fix it.
Hmm.
And then that way, the next time, if it does happen, I hope that it does not, but if it does happen, that we can, find a solution together to fix it.
Right. He's not making, like, I think this question's kind of obsolete because you don't ever really make mistakes. They're all learning opportunities. You're just learning how you as a mom are learning how to communicate to your child. Your child is learning how
Yes.
to navigate life and all the things like locks and door handles.
Absolutely. Something that my mom told me that like I constantly try. It's hard to remember in the moment. They always tell you to like practice things with your kids so that in the moment they, know how to handle things and react. But it's just like one thing that my mom told me was just like they haven't been here before.
Mm,
They don't know these things. You know, you know that if you touch that hot thing, it's going to hurt. They don't know this. They don't understand it. And so you have to try and remember that as a parent that they don't know the things that you know and you have to teach them.
wow.
So,
That's so challenging. That's so wise, but that's so like I would never. In the moment I'd be like, "Why'd you do that?
yes.
Don't you know
Yes.
better?"
Yes, exactly. Every time, like I find myself yelling at, the older one or yelling at the middle one and saying, "Hey, don't do that. Why would you do that?" And I have to remember they don't know.
Mhm.
They don't know that this isn't the way that you should do things. They don't know that, we don't want to take food that has been on the floor for who knows how long and put it in our mouths. They don't know that the things of this life, and we just have to teach them the best that we can with as much patience as we can, even though
Yeah.
it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. No, thank you. So, share a memorable family outing or adventure you had, and how do you think it influenced your kids?
So it's not often that we do things just the 4 or 5 of us. um but one thing that I remember before our younger two came along was the one and only family vacation that we had. And just how much fun that was, just to have the three of us just going on this, adventure together. We went to the beach. We would walk to the beach, every day. And it was just such a fun experience. And I feel like I'm hoping that it's something that my oldest remembers,
Yeah.
even if it's just us going and playing in the waves, that kind of thing. Like, I'm hoping that it's something that he potentially will remember and be like, oh, mommy, remember when we did this? And I think the most memorable thing about that trip was just, and something that always like will come back to me, which is, it's just crazy, was one night we went to the beach like later than we had any other night. And so when we came back, it was dark, and where we were walking was this kind of like where the road was on either side was like this like, grassland, swampy area.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're walking, we're just like getting attacked by mosquitoes. And so we're just trying to book it and run home so that the mosquitoes don't land on us and just like we have mosquito bites for, wherever. And so that is just like the funnest and most memorable thing about that trip is just us just running home, trying not to get bit by so many mosquitoes. So.
That's too funny. That's has to be a memorable experience because mosquitoes are something that happen annually. Like every year, you're gonna get mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And every
Yes.
year, I'm sure y'all are gonna be like traumatized by that specific night. Like, do you remember the night we walked through the beach and we got attacked by mosquitoes?
Absolutely.
uh, so you shared a little bit about your mom talking about patience. Share a time where you had to be patient as a parent and what positive outcome was let's try this again. What was the positive outcome there?
I can't even like remember specifically a time like of it happening. I mean, there's so many things that happen in the course of the day that I really just have to take a moment, like take a breath to just be like, okay, stop, calm down, and just wait for them to get it. I one thing I guess is have been trying to find a game essentially that we can all play together, and having to have that patience of not wanting to step in and take over and be like, let me do it,
Right.
has definitely been challenging, watching a little kid kind of try to do these things and whatever. So I guess that just watching him play games and trying to be patient and talk him through, okay, this is what you need to do, make sure you do this, like whatever, and then just celebrating that moment of when they finally do get it, when they finally do like achieve it is exciting. Just seeing them finally be like, yes, you got that thing, you got that monster, you achieved that goal, whatever, is very exciting. So
nice. Awesome. And that's got to be it goes into our next question. That's got to definitely build your confidence as a parent. Because you've taught them this, they've implemented it, and now they're celebrating because they achieved whatever that goal was. So share with us something you've done as a parent to increase your confidence.
I feel like for me personally, it is hard to feel confident about parenting because it feels like there are so many just like things that make you question, a lot of the things that you do. I think one of the things that makes me confident is seeing them do what it is that I've taught them. It kind of makes you be like, all right, wow, like I did something. I made it so that they can do this. Whenever we sit down to eat or at night when we're praying and, hearing the oldest and even the middle one, reciting the prayers, it makes me feel like, wow, like we did a good job of, doing this and teaching them. And anytime that they like learn a new skill and they can do it by themselves, that makes me feel a little bit more confident of like, okay, we're doing the right thing, or I have done the right thing, or I have taught them well enough that, they can then in turn do it by themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that's really what kind of gives me the confidence, and also just that backing of other people, of being like, wow, you've taught them this. That's such a great job. Wow, they know this. That's like, they're so smart. And it just kind of gives me like, a little confidence boost and a pat on the back of like, all right, I did something, even though they're not doing this and they're not doing that, of, other things that other kids are doing, but knowing that, hey, I've taught them something and they're doing so well, that's
right.
It's a positive.
And I think community is super important in that because it's difficult, like you're saying, to feel confident as a parent, but having a community to remind you, like, hey, you're doing awesome. Like, Your kid just walked up to me and said thank you. Your kid found tissue on the floor
Absolutely.
and picked it up and threw it away. Like he didn't walk past you. Like that
Absolutely,
having
yes.
that community is definitely important.
Yes, absolutely.
Share with us one thing you do as a mom for self-care or self-improvement, and even share how it makes you feel.
Um, I mean, sometimes it's like the little things, just being able to accomplish goals that I have set out for the day. Because trying to do even the most like little tasks sometimes can be very challenging.
Yeah.
So to me, in my mind, as far as like what kind of at the end of the day, I'm just like I feel good is just being able to get things done. So having those opportunities to be able to get all the dishes done or to be able to fold all the clothes up or do something like go out for a walk with the kids. If I'm able to, accomplish like, three things that I have on my list, to me, that makes me feel good
Yeah.
and that makes me happy. Um, and then at the end of the day, having that time once they're asleep of just being able to spend time with my husband, us watching something or playing something or whatever, just having that opportunity to do that also just makes me just be like, all right, now I can reset and recharge and be ready for the next day. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think those are like you said, they're simple, but they are so important, and I think they're not even recognized as self-care or self-improvement, because it would only I could only imagine the mental drain of not accomplishing something every day for yourself, such as
absolutely.
vacuuming or doing the dishes. Like that would just diminish your mental health, you know?
Absolutely. It's hard for me to just kind of have a day where I'm at home
Mm-hmm.
and I don't do anything because at the end of the day, even though like I didn't do anything, I spent time with them or I just rested, it still to me just kind of feels like, what did you do? Like, what are you doing? Why
Right.
aren't you doing this? You have so much other things that you need to be doing, and you sat here and did nothing all day and whatever, whatever. So for me, like, yes, resting is good, especially on those days when it's just like it's absolutely necessary. But to me, just being able to accomplish goals just makes me feel better. Being able
Yeah.
to say, hey, I cleaned up the kitchen today. Hey, I folded and put away some clothes. Like that to me just it feels better than, just having that, oh, I get to relax and rest and blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, I love doing that. But at the same time, being able to get stuff done when I feel like it's just so hard to do is better for me or feels better to me. How about that?
100%. And that leads directly into our next question. So, how do you find balance between taking care of yourself and being a mom? Like, how do you prioritize the two?
It's hard. It's hard to find a balance, a good balance, really. Um, because there are some days, like I said, there are some days where it's literally just a rest day or a spend time with the kids day, because it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You have those days where you feel just run down, or you have those days where you're just so tired. And those are the days where it's just like literally your body's like, look, you've been going and going and going, and now it's time for you to, take a step back, sit down, whatever. So it's hard to find a balance between my sanity and taking care of the kids, and just kind of where's the me time kind of type thing.
Right.
So for me, it's just like that time after they go to bed is usually like my me time. My all right, what am I going to do? What am I going to do to relax? Am I going to watch something? Am I going to play something? Am I just going to, veg out and sit on Instagram and waste my life on reels for hours on end or read my book, like what am I going to do in, the few hours or whatever that I have before I actually, go to sleep. So I always find that that's my settle down time or my time to myself is just after they've gone to bed, then I can do things for me. So
Nice. Nice. At least you're not overloading your plate. You're pretty balanced out for the most part, so that's good. Especially being a mom
I
of
try.
three.
I try. It's hard to not do it. And there are so many times where my husband has to basically tell me like, you need to relax. You need to stop what you're doing. Like right after we had our youngest, I think that was the hardest period of time for me. I'm not sure why it was the hardest for me. But right after we had her, I could not just relax.
Hmm.
And every single day, I was like, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this. And him and my body were both telling me, you don't have to do anything but heal because you just went through this big thing
Yeah.
and, we need time. And so it was difficult for me to be able to just stop, to be able to just say, you don't have to handle that right now. You can ask him to do it or you can save it for another day.
Yeah.
And so it was very hard for me to just take that time out to let my body heal the way that it needed to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if nothing else, I get told to relax by him. I get told to relax by my mom, my sister. And so it's just like there are times where my plate is overloaded and full of things. But how I always have to remember, like, look, that stuff will be there tomorrow.
Yep.
It will be right there where you left it tomorrow, and or there is somebody else in the house that you can ask for help to do it. Like it is not all on you.
100%. 100%. It's great that you have that community. Love it.
I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for our families. Like my mom is 20 minutes away. His parents are sorry, my parents are 20 minutes away. His parents are about less than 5 minutes away. So being able to have those people who can just come in and help whenever we really need it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really truly wonderful. And I don't know where we would be if we didn't have that support system, if we didn't have those people to just help out. Like we are over at my parents' house like every week, at least two times a week. Like we are over here. And it's just being able to have that time of not only just having them be able to spend with their grandparents, but
Right.
also being able to just kind of, be like, hey, I have other people that can take care of them or help me out so I can kind of have a break is nice.
Yeah, that's important. It's definitely important. So share with us 5 qualities or traits you admire about your children.
So one thing that my oldest has that I think my youngest is kind of getting that kind of comes from me that I admire it, but a lot of times it is very, very much like kind of butts heads with everyone is his strong-willed didness. It's not a word, but I'm making it a word. Um, he is very, very much just like, I'm a see for myself, like very much just, you told me I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it anyways. And so I like that about him because it makes it so that he is, he will keep trying for the most part. There are times where he's just like, he'll do it once, but I can't do it. But with him, he very much is just like, I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to get it done. And he does. A lot of times he will keep trying. And I'll have to, I'm encouraging him. And so that's something that I like about him is that he's kind of adapted that trait. And I hope that he keeps that, that strong will of his, because I feel like it's really going to help him out later in life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he also, of course, like all kids, picks up a lot of things from me and my husband. Um, and just kind of like having that big brother spirit of just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna help out and I gotta help mommy out. I gotta help, my little brother out. I gotta help my little sister out. And, even the middle child is getting that, syndrome of, oh, my little sister's crying. Let me go see what's wrong with her. Let me go, entertain and help her to stop crying. And I love that about them,
Yeah.
that they are more than willing to just be like, okay, mommy can't get to, her right now. Let me try and calm her down. Let me talk to her, sing to her, be up in her face, but do something to help out. And I love that they love to help out. Um, Another thing is that they are pretty polite. At least the middle one is polite for now. Um, and so just them having that, spirit of, you know, saying please and thank you and willing to help out at a lot of them. I mean, it's kind of tied into the second one, but having that, I'm going to help out. You need help with this, I'm going to help you. No matter who it is, for the most part, they are willing to go and help,
Mm-hmm.
as much as they can. And I love that about them.
So share 3 things that you're thankful for about your kids. You can share one for each kid.
Let's see. Okay. One thing I'm thankful for. Um, mm, for the oldest, I'm thankful for him starting to open up his horizons. He's getting to the point where he's starting to be more open about trying new things. He is what I say. He is my extrovert of the family and a family of introverts, and he is willing to do things that I could not or would not do. Like he will go and play with other kids. He will go and, like I said, he will help other people.
Mm-hmm.
He will go and talk to other like kids or whatever, where I couldn't do that. And so I love the fact that he is kind of more of an extrovert than anything. And he's as all kids are at this age, he's like super silly and just wants to make people laugh. Um, and then the middle child, trying to think. I I like the fact that he just kind of he's while he's learning the things that he is saying, it's crazy what comes out of his mouth sometimes. The things that it's just like now he knows what he wants. He knows exactly what he's asking for. He knows what you know,
Yeah.
he knows what he wants, and just seeing that shift from everything is yes to no, I don't want that. And I know what I actually do want. And here it is. And I love that he's starting to get his personality.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best things about kids is when they go from, this little adult to now they have a personality of their own. And now you get to see like who are they potentially going to become as they get older. Um, and then as far as the youngest one, she's only 5 months old, but the fact of her just every week it's something different. Every week she's growing and just becoming more of who she's going to be. She laughs a lot. She's the easy chill child. That's what
Yeah.
I like to say. She is kind of like what we need right now in the season of crazy boys. And then we have her who's just like, I'm just going to sit back and watch you guys do what you're going to do. Uh, so I can do it later, but right now I'm just going to watch you. And so it's so nice to have that easy kid who, doesn't really have an issue just sitting back while, all this craziness is going on around her, and even just laughing because she sees her brothers, like, so it's always nice.
Yeah, she's so precious. We love her. So share 3 ways your children have helped you grow as a person.
So, of course, one way, and I feel like this is something for every parent, is my children have helped me to be more patient.
Yes.
Because, when it comes to helping children to grow, a lot of it is patience of letting them do what they're going to do and to help them out of it. They have to experience things for themselves a lot of times before they will figure out how to do it themselves. And so having that patience to be like, okay, I'm not going to jump in and help you. I'm going to let you figure this out on your own so that way you can do it for next time. So that way you have that memory of, oh, this happened before. This is how I get out of it. So definitely, definitely patience.
Mm-hmm.
They've also kind of given me a new way to love. Having that love of a child is different from all other ones. I know a lot of parents will tell you this, but it's just like when you have a child, it's just like that love that you have for them of just kind of like, hey, the whole thing, like, you were formed within my womb, as weird as that stuff. You were formed within me, and now you are here, and it's just like I've, carried you, you've been beside me for 9 months, and now you're out in the world, and I get to see and experience you growing up and everything like that. It's that love of like, I'm going to protect you as much as I can and let you go as much as I can, to be able to do the things that you need to do as a person, as a person in this world. I guess another thing is they've taught me just kind of how to let go.
Ooh.
When they do those things that, you just kind of like get on your nerves, and then you just kind of remember like they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
And to kind of like laugh a lot more. I feel like I laugh a lot more because I have these kids, because the things that they do and the way that they do things just is, it's amazing,
Yeah.
to hear the middle one who, we mostly give him water. Occasionally we'll give him some coconut milk, or cocoa milk as he calls it. Or we give him some juice, like watered down juice. And so the other day, just being like, okay, him saying, I'm thirsty. And okay, here's your water. No, I don't want water. I want the oldest tea. Like basically
Oh.
being like, look, I don't want what you're gonna give me. I want his drink. Like, don't give me that water. I want something else. And so just laughing about that, because he is notorious for, if you put it down, it belongs to him and it is communal property. As I have adopted, everything that the light touches is his. So if you put food down, we'll eat it. If you put drinks down, he will drink it. So, hearing him be like, look, I don't want that. I want this, that I know I have stolen it time and time again. But this is what I want. And so it's just kind of funny to hear him say that, and just the things that they do and the things that they say is, you know, it's a new experience every day.
Yeah. It sounds. Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds. It sounds. It's good that your kid is so good at stating what he needs. We always love someone that knows what they want and knows what they need, even though they ask like why 17 million times. He's just trying to
Absolutely.
get to the bottom. He's trying to get to the understanding of what he wants, and we love that.
Exactly. And even though the why phase is more of, my brother says this, so I'm gonna say it. Just having him have that, like, okay, now explain to me why it is that I can't do this.
Uh huh.
Explain to me why it is that I can't have this. it's it's pretty fun and eventful.
Yeah, I could only imagine. Well, that's all we have this week. Be sure to tune in next week for more Words from Your Mama.